It always could be worse, Kansas City. That's something to remember on a Monday morning. It is great to have you here on 95.7 FM KCMO. Bill O'Reilly is 1 hour away. Do not miss that conversation. Make sure you're tuned in and streaming, if you need to by then, at KCMOTalkRadio.com. So one of the lead political stories over the last week or so has been something that doesn't really relate to us here in Kansas City, outside of the fact that it could be worse. But it's gotten a lot of national media attention because a lot of the media is based in New York City. And that is this guy, Mamdani, who is right now the front runner to be the next mayor of obviously the largest city in the country. And the reason he's gotten a lot of attention is because he is a self-described socialist, democratic socialist. That's who he is. Also happens to be an anti-Semite, which is not good for a multitude of reasons I don't need to lay out for this audience, but got a lot of things going against him as far as I'm concerned. So he goes on Meet the Press yesterday, and he said something that I wanted to get your input on. That's a broader conversation as to whether or not billionaires are good or beneficial or we should have them, because this guy, Zoran Mamdani, made it very clear. When it comes to billionaires, he's got no use for them.
You are a self-described democratic socialist. Do you think that billionaires have a right to exist?
I don't think that we should have billionaires because, frankly, it is so much money in a moment of such inequality. And ultimately, what we need more of is equality across our city and across our state and across our country. And I look forward to work with everyone, including billionaires, to make a city that is fairer for all of them.
I don't think we should have billionaires, he says. Now, right there, I say to myself, you know how this whole thing is just made up, right? So let me get this straight. If a guy or a gal is worth like $998 million, he's okay. But once you hit that $1 billion mark, no, don't you dare come into this town with $1 billion in net worth. 990 mil, you're in the clear, John.
I'd like to hear the wise guy say he's going to take the job for no money.
Yeah.
Right? Put your money where your mouth is there.
Yeah, that's true. So I think about what this guy just said, who's, once again, the favorite to lead the largest and still, unfortunately, the most influential city in the West. And I think to myself, does he not understand who actually pays his taxes, right? Who actually, foots the bill for all the nonsense they have there? It's those same people that he says should not exist. And I would welcome anybody to Kansas. If a billionaire's in New York and wants to come to Kansas City, please come on down. We'd love to have you. Start your business here. All right. Hire a bunch of people. Create great jobs in and around Kansas City. We would gladly take. I'll speak for Mayor Lucas. I'll speak for any other locally elected leaders in this community. You want to come to Kansas City, we'll have you. And you reach out to us at KCMO, and we'll make sure you're not getting screwed when you come here. We'll get you all set up. Don't you worry one bit. When I hear these people say this stuff out loud, I'm like, they have such little understanding of economics, first off. They don't understand how much these billionaires actually fund all of their little programs that they insist that they need to help the little guy. So they're biting off the hand that feeds them, which just right away tells you that they're not all that bright. They don't understand basic economics. And then there's the social attitude of all this as well. As if somehow the money pie in this country is finite. And if somebody has $1 billion, then it means you don't have something or I don't have something. And that's just simply not true in a capitalist society. Now, they don't like that word. They don't like that big, scary C word. But it's proven to be factually inaccurate. That if somebody else has something, it means you don't have something. It's not the case. It's America. You make of this what you want. This great experiment, you make of this what you want. Now, do we have problems? Yeah, we do. Housing is probably problem number one right now when you talk about how difficult it is to become a home buyer. And that's not just in New York. I mean, they've got issues with rent control and things like that, the red tape. But we talk about that stuff here in Kansas City, right? It's not unique to New York. It's not unique to Kansas City. It's a problem all over the country right now. And there's a plethora of reasons for it. But this social attitude of if somebody has $1 billion, I'm somehow getting screwed is something that, frankly, I don't believe most Americans believe. I just don't. But this is a continuing theme that is growing on one side of the political aisle. It's like a tumor that they can't kill. And frankly, they're not interested in killing it. It's like you go to the doctor. He's like, you got stage 4 cancer. It's time for some chemo. You got to get this tumor taken care of as quickly as you can before it spreads. And it's like, nope, I'm good. I'm going to pass. Got to let this baby grow. That's what's happening. Goes back 10, 15 years with Bernie Sanders. And now you've got this guy getting set potentially to be the next mayor of the largest city in the country. So it's not about, I don't want to make it about him because it's not relevant to us here in Kansas City, but just this attitude that is growing of like billionaires are inherently bad people because of what their net worth is. And it's not a world that I think most Americans live in, but if it's the world that one political party wants to dig deep into, be my guest because it'll help the people I frankly prefer to be in office anyway, John.
I found it interesting Cuomo conceded, and it's ranked choice voting that hasn't been completely tabulated.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And Mondani stands to be one of those guys who gets a lot of number ones and a lot of number fives or last. So let's count them and see before we start conceding and saying things, right?
Let's go to Paul in Kansas City. What's up, Paul? You're on KCMO.
Hey, Pete, I watched the interview with Mondani yesterday. He also doubled down that he's going to go out to Long Island and Staten Island and tax people because they're white. Can you imagine him going over the Verrazano Bridge on those Italian Americans and tell them we're taking your house? That is not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to be popular, man. It's
No,
not.
sir.
It's not. I mean, I think about some of the billionaires in this country. Here's who they are, right? And you're going to know these names. Regardless of what you think of them personally, leave that aside. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Phil Knight, founder of Nike, the Waltons, all the Walmart folks, Bill Gates, Michael Bloomberg. Once again, these are people, sure, most of them probably lean left, but Elon Musk is obviously in that group. They have all been great for even the average American who just has a 401k. Jensen Huang, who is he? He is the CEO of NVIDIA. Right now, obviously one of the biggest companies on the globe. If you've got $1 invested in your 401k, you should be rooting for NVIDIA. Even if you don't own NVIDIA stock, you own an S&P 500 fund or whatever it might be, you're a fan of NVIDIA. Well, at least you should be. Same thing with the Michael Dells of the world, right? These are all Ken Griffin. These are all people who are, yes, billionaires. But the amount of wealth, not just through their companies that have been brought to the country and brought to everyday Americans, but through their stocks, the wealth that Americans have amassed because of their stocks is exponentially greater than their own individual net worths. And it's like, this is the message that I think so many need to understand and talk about. We're not going to be breaking down that race. It doesn't really matter to us in Kansas City, but that messaging around billionaires are bad. We don't need any of them. They're not good for us. I don't much care. If they're bringing something to the American enterprise and to the capitalistic system, that can be good for the rest of us if we choose to participate in it. 913-408-7957. That's our text line and our studio line on KCMO. Pete, what I want to know is exactly how much of someone else's money do these people think they're entitled to? That's a great question. They can't really say. It's just, hey, billionaires are bad. There's no nuance to the conversation, right? It's just, well, we can't have billionaires. Make sure that net worth stays at $999 million. That makes you an okay person. But you get to that $1 billion mark, well, you better watch out, buddy. It doesn't make any sense to any common sense person. Once you think like an inch below the surface, you realize their argument is completely hollow and is not based in anything other than vibes and feels.